ChatGPT is actually getting worse and I can prove it. I've been using ChatGPT for the past 5 years and in the last 2 weeks I haven't touched it once. Hi, my name is Ayan and you'll be very surprised as to what's actually happening in the AI industry. Listen up. Comparing the Google Trends graph of ChatGPT, late December 2025, it was at 100%. Right now in March 2026, it is at 85%. That is a 15% drop in search volume for ChatGPT. Well, you might be asking, why is there a huge drop in people using ChatGPT? And who is this new AI LLM that's come into the market competing with its competitors? Well, in this video, you're going to find out all about it. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, then go ahead, subscribe. And the first thing about AI and ChatGPT is that as a person who's been using ChatGPT for around 5 years, I pretty much have every single information on ChatGPT. I have many different chats about many different things, about my content, about uni, about my school, about education, about my work, even small things like writing emails and all that. But in these past few weeks, I had to change from ChatGPT to a new competitor, which I will show you in a few minutes. But in these past 2 weeks, I had to start switching from ChatGPT to this new AI competitor called Claude AI. Now, I will get to Claude in a minute, but I want to let you know, and you might be asking yourself this as well, why is ChatGPT losing in popularity? Like I said before, the data doesn't lie, and a 15% drop in search volume for ChatGPT is quite huge. Among a recent report of Stack developers in 2026 say that around 68% of users or Stack developers were using ChatGPT for their work, for software development. Now from January to March, it's gone down by a few percentages. I think it's down to 54%. And even as a normal user myself, my own usage of ChatGPT has dropped very rapidly in these past 2 weeks. And after doing some extensive research, I can sum up 3 reasons as to why this sudden drop of ChatGPT users. Reason number 1 is the quality of responses that ChatGPT is giving is degrading. Ever since GPT 5.3 has released, a lot of people have been complaining that the results that it gives you based off of even what prompt you give it is really baseless and really generic. And the last thing you want as a user is to be given something that is AI slop, as known in the AI industry, which is basically meaning that using information that's already been given and regurgitating it in a different way. A lot of people, even students nowadays, say that writing reports using ChatGPT is so baseless, meaning that whatever report you give it, it's going to give you the same structure with the same references, with the same tonality as well for each report. Even if you specify in your prompts that you want to have this tonality, you want to structure it like this, you want to have these bullet points, ChatGPT is pretty much ignoring all those statements. And as a user, you might as well expected this from GPT 2 or 3, but from an AI that's been around for quite a while now and having 5 versions already released in these past 5 years, it's sort of getting to a point where people are under stress as to why ChatGPT is underperforming so badly. Since ChatGPT is one of those AIs which was first introduced in 2021, and a lot of people have been using it ever since and have accumulated all that data on ChatGPT. Reason number 2 is something related to how fast ChatGPT responses. I've noticed for me myself that whenever I give it a prompt, it will take some time to understand what I've written and then give me a prompt which is related to what I'm asking. Compared to if I use Gemini or even Claude, which is the new AI competitor, I get results like this. Now, I don't know if that's ChatGPT's way of thinking or if it's the servers that are based in America, but it's something which is very concerning because we all want fast results. Our lives have become very fast nowadays, and the only thing we want is to not have restrictions of how we get our answers. Compared to Claude AI, I feel like I get more value from it just because of how fast the response is. From Claude, I get a 1 to 2 second response rate. From ChatGPT, though, I probably get around 15 to 30 seconds. And reason number 3 is, I think, one of the biggest ones, and that is that ChatGPT is giving very unfinished answers. A lot of the time, it's not even about restrictions of what you can ask and what you can't ask, but a lot of the time when I ask it to give me a detailed report about something or whether I wanted to write a script for a video, it's gonna write some parts of it and then just stop writing and ask me a question. Do you want me to reframe this idea in a different way? And majority of the time, I don't really want it to do that just because of how I've nurtured its writing style for a long time. And I think you as a user might have also experienced that, and maybe you even using ChatGPT for something like creating a business and making a business plan, and asking ChatGPT to give me some competitor analysis, and ChatGPT just saying, well, I can't really do that because it's confidential information or whatnot. Or maybe you've experienced this as a user yourself, that if you're trying to write a report from ChatGPT, you probably might say write a 1,000, 2,000 word essay, and in the end, when you count the words that it's actually written, it sums up to 500 to 600. So whether you want it to be like a lazy way of answering or false promises, it's not a very good image on ChatGPT. Now, this new AI Claude is taking the ranks really, really quickly, and I'm going to show you why. Well, first of all, it's completely opposite to what ChatGPT is doing for those first three reasons I said. It's fast, it's quick, it's efficient, it can understand your prompts correctly, and it will not give you false information. On a larger scale, I've seen that because my prompts are very large as well, and I tend to write and keep writing for my prompts and giving it as much information as possible. Claude is able to understand every single thing I write. Doesn't matter if it's a small detail or if it's in brackets, it takes everything into account, which is quite massive for an AI to do that. Claude, again, on another level, doesn't really just ask questions in the middle of your prompts. It's going to first write the whole thing out, or write your answer, or write its answer the whole way. And then later on, when it's finished, it's going to ask you questions as to whether you want it to refine it, whether you want a different idea, or do you want to write it in a different way, and so on and so forth. But I think the newest feature on Claude that I think a lot of people are talking about is Claude Code. I've seen many videos on the internet, including on Instagram, saying that you can now edit pictures and edit videos using Claude Code without any experience. Now, I haven't tried this myself, but a lot of people do say that it's as close to you editing on Premiere Pro. So if you don't know what Claude Code is, it is basically GitHub, but inside of Claude. So you can create your own programs, you can create your own apps, or even combine different apps together and use Claude efficiently. It's sort of like making your own agentic AI, but inside of a generative AI tool. Now, I am yet to use Claude Code, and I still don't know how to use it, so I'm going to start learning how to use it. And if you do also want to learn how to use Claude Code, then comment down below Claude, and I'll make sure to make a tutorial video of how Claude Code actually works. So since the first quarter of 2026 is finally over, and if you were to ask me whether I should switch to Claude or keep using ChatGPT, well, my advice is I think it's best that you start switching right now. And if you're saying to yourself, well, how can I switch when I have all this history, all this information that ChatGPT knows about me? How can I take it from here to Claude? And there is a way, and Claude actually managed to do this. If you go to their website or their app, you can absolutely easily transfer your data from ChatGPT to Claude. But definitely, I would stop using ChatGPT just because it's getting to a point where I'm falling behind as an AI expert and as a general user as well for AI. So if you think that ChatGPT is giving you better results than Claude, or you think ChatGPT is worthwhile your investment, then it's up to you. You can keep using it. But if you are someone who wants to level up your AI game and use and get the best results possible, then Claude AI is the best option for you. Other than that, let me know your thoughts down below about Claude AI, and if you think that Claude is better than ChatGPT. Otherwise, if you really enjoyed this video, then subscribe to the channel, and if you haven't seen this video up here, then go ahead, watch it, and I'll see you in the next video.